ladies and gentlemen, we are faced with another water crisis in another black-run city. Last time it was Flint, Michigan, during the presidency of Barack Hussein Obama, Democrat Party, and now his vice president, or now president, Joe Biden, Democrat. You remember at the time, Barack Obama didn't do anything for the people in Flint, Michigan. Even Barack Obama went down there and actually wanted to go drink some of the water instead of using the weight of the federal government to fix the issue, which he has a lot of control over at the executive branch. He has the purse strings at the executive branch. He can do executive orders. He didn't do anything to fix those people problems. So the so-called first black president didn't fix these problems. I'm going to say Biden probably won't do it either. But see, Biden was writing all kind of checks in the billions to Ukraine. Billions. But where's the $1 billion of checks written to get this water treatment plant up and going and making sure the water is right for Jackson, Mississippi? Now, they say about tens of thousands of residents in Jackson, Mississippi remain without clean water. And say some advocates say that the situation stems from years of environmental racism, or what I would say environmental warfare. Because, let's call it what it is. These people wage war on black people all the time, whether environmental, whether it's mentally, spiritually, economically. I mean, you name it. Every area, medically, any area that we could think of, in the area of entertainment, anything you could think of with the law. These people are waging, a white supremacist warfare against us. And see, listen, I'm a type of brother that's a realist. Yes, we could swing that American flag hard. Yes, we can. And we are black Americans. Let's call it what it is. We are fifth-class citizens in our own country. I'm going to repeat that again. We are fifth-class citizens in our own country. And sometimes some of us get mad when we hear that, but that's a reality. Because I remember when I went to the African Union in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia, and the sister was her name, Malukin. And she said, yeah, I went to America and it was sad how these white people treat black people. He's like, you're like a fifth class citizen in your own country. It's your country and that's the way they're going to treat you. That's not right. And she just came to visit America at the time. She wasn't living here and saw that. Name me the water crisis that keep happening to cities that's majority white or majority Hispanic, majority Asian. Name them. You don't even hear it. You don't know nothing about it. Not only on top of the water situation like in Jackson, Mississippi, right here in Houston, they built neighborhoods over dumping grounds of chemicals that cause cancer. And all these black people constantly coming down with cancers, dying of cancer. And they got lawsuits behind this. You have in Louisiana, that neighborhood they call Cancer Alley that's literally built right by petrochemical plants. I know enough about the petrochemical industry. I worked in that for 20 years. OK, you do not put a neighborhood or buy a home near any refinery. Nowhere. You see houses next to a refinery, don't buy it. I'm telling you what these people do at night. These people release emissions they don't supposed to be releasing at night. They burn the flares hotter than what they're supposed to at night, causing different smoke and things like that. Because if they cause a black smoke in the atmosphere for more than 5 minutes, they get dinged by the EPA for every minute that is going on like that. So they do it at night so nobody can see it. Understand what I'm saying? They emit chemicals all the time out of these petrochemical plants. You do not buy homes next to those places. You buy homes completely away from those places, nowhere near it. These places have explosions and all kind of things that happen in the petrochemical industry. That is a very, very dangerous industry. And a lot of people have died doing or got maimed in that industry. And a lot of black folk, including my family. Let's talk about my family. My grandmother in them house in that neighborhood, they had the backyard, the alley, and then you look right in the back, they had a shore tank. I don't know if it was a 30,000 barrel or 100,000 barrel shore tank. Well, they have shore tanks lined up in this neighborhood, the neighborhood I grew up in with my grandparents. No, we just thought heads or something. They're just back there. But they literally built that neighborhood for black people and put it next to freaking shore tanks. They got chemicals and oil in it. This is nothing new. But our people just didn't know anything about this. These white people know what they're doing. They know what they're doing to black people. See, we got to get serious about talking about, when I talk about this sabotage of black people, this environmental racism that gets black people, or environmental warfare, because you just call it what it is. It's warfare against us. It's environmental warfare. It's medical warfare against us. It's economic warfare. They waging warfare on black people constantly. That same state, Mississippi, you heard predominantly white cities, they have the same problem. Now let's continue to get into this. Now they say more than 80% of Jackson residents are black, according to the census. They say on Monday, the residents saw their main water treatment facility fail in the wake of flooding. They said leaving them without clean water for drinking, bathing, or cooking. They say while the recent flooding has been a contributor to say where we are today, they say this is not the first time this issue has come about where the city of Jackson is without water and unable to function. So Angela Wade, she's the president and CEO of the Mississippi Center for Justice, said over the last 50 years, you could say this has been brewing because of lack of investment in the city's infrastructure by primarily state leadership. So you have a black city, black people in their own city, minding their business, and the state is not making sure they get equal distribution of funds when it comes to infrastructure. But they make sure the white cities taken care of. See, this is why when you talk about why black people leave communities, why they're leaving our communities, X, Y, Z, it's not always Pookie and Ray Ray. It's a fact is, in order for you to have essential services that you may need, you got to go flood the zone in the white area. And then the white people want to get mad and say, why are these blacks moving over here? Well, they moving over here because you won't make sure that their infrastructure is right. So they will stay in their own cities and in their own neighborhoods. You so freaking racist because any little thing that they give black people, they get pissed off about. Just recently, Bank of America talked about they got this, zero down, zero closing costs, home loans they're trying to do for black people and Latinos. I'm not going to even go there, fully in the rest of that. But white people are complaining about that. They don't want black people to get anything. If they can't get it, they don't want black people to get it at all. They want everything. And then if somebody say, okay, let's create a program and give black people a little bit. Oh, hell no. Why they get to get something? You understand what I'm saying? As long as we are in the United States of America, we are at the mercy of the white supremacist. And that's my biggest issue with being here. Just to be honest with y'all, I don't like being at the mercy of the white supremacists because I know how dirty they are. I know how evil they are. I know this. I have understood who they are. I have accepted who they are. Unfortunately, a lot of my brothers and sisters have not fully accepted who they are. When the Honorable Elijah Muhammad called them the devil, that was a right actually name to call them. Because, the devil could masquerade as an angel of light. He could be, the devil can be very nice to you. The devil could smile in your face. The devil could give you certain opportunities. The devil can do a whole lot of things for you, right? But at the end, you're going to get screwed because the devil is who he is. And that's what people don't understand about the devil, is that the devil masquerades as an angel of light. Then have our people confused. You understand? Because great confusion, they even talked about the confusion of people in the last day. How the devil would deceive even people who actually know the truth. That's conversations that we don't want to have because it kind of shuts down a lot of things that people are talking about in our community now. You can get mad when I'm saying, but it's the truth. You're always going to be at the mercy of the white supremacist when he's controlling the water plant, when he's controlling the power grid, when he's controlling the internet, when he's controlling the courts, when he's controlling the police, when he's controlling all the government, the Supreme Court. He's controlling the executive branch. He's controlling the FBI. He's controlling everything. And we know these people have a long-standing history of being at war with black people. Now, continuing, they say the latest It said water issues. It said come after the last 2 years, they saw the city's water system fail and Environmental Protection Agency inspection, which found the drinking water had the potential to host harmful bacteria or parasites. And the bursting and freezing of pipes during a winter storm last year left residents without water for nearly a month. Listen to that. I say, but advocates say the crisis has been in decades in the making. Say Jackson first became a majority black city in the years following integration. It said the white population fell from 52% to 43% in the 1980s. It say with another 35,000 leaving the city over the course of the 1990s. It say the population loss has reduced the city's tax base and left it with far less money for basic resources. And the city's water infrastructure has felt strained before, most recently in March 2021 when Jackson imposed a boil water advisory. They said in that quote, they said, we have a really aged system in the city's annual budget. The revenue, it said that the city bring in is insufficient to meet the need. As Mayor Chokwe Antar Lumumba, he's a Democrat. Yes, you heard the name. That's not a person that's originally from here. I thought that's quite interesting, you know. But you know, it's nothing against the brother. I'm just thinking that's interesting because I don't know any black American people who are mayors in an African country. I don't know, you know, because they very, you know, they gatekeep their government very tight. I don't know no black American governors, you know, who maybe went over there. I don't know anything, but in America, you know, we let everybody get in. They said Lumumba said the latest water crisis is due to decades of possibly 30 years or more of deferred maintenance, a lack of capital improvements made to the system, a lack of human capital, a workforce plan that accounted for the challenges that our water treatment facility suffers. They said while the city tried to fight the loss of water by handing out free bottled water to residents, is that earlier this week that quickly ran out. So now some of the responsibility has fallen to local community organizations. Say for years, the anti-violence prevention program Operation Good has been delivering water to residents across the city. They said Gino, who is the founder of the organization and asked not to have his last name published, said his group began handing out water back in 2015. So it's been going on. He said this is nothing new for us. He said adding the group prioritizes taking care of the elderly and disabled first, following up with children and those living in poverty. He said most recently he added, he said they've been bringing water pallets to different schools that contacted Operation Good in desperate need of providing for the students. Gino said he doesn't normally use terms like environmental racism, but he knows the surrounding cities that are majority white that don't have infrastructure problems like Jackson. He said Jackson infrastructure problems are horrendous. He said for us to be the capital city of the state of Mississippi, he said it does not receive the attention, financing, and things of that nature that it should. Now, that usually your capital city in the United States, usually your best city, you know, because that's where your freaking that's where your governor is at. That's where the state government's at. And you mean to tell me that's the capital city? And just because it's 80% black, let's call it what it is. Just because it's 80% black, you'll go it on and don't mind that. That's okay. Now, he said, Gino said children in the city are exposed to raw sewage so often they become immune to it. He said it's in their bathing water. He said it's in their cooking water. It's in their drinking water. And through it all, residents have still received water bills. Oh, my God. Come on now. Where's Biden with the billions of dollars that he keeps sending to Ukraine? All that can be fixed. Biden and them have the money. This is done on purpose, folks. This is done on purpose. This is why I said I'm not even going to fight with y'all about this place. I refuse to. I'm like, do you? I said that. I already know what I'm going to do with my family and what my end game is. Because these people are wicked. And these people is not going to stop doing this in your lifetime or mine either. This is something that you can go march in the street, fine, great, go do it. But how you going to get that water fixed? When they can fix it just like this. And listen, the brother said that the surrounding white cities don't have these problems. I know they don't have the problems because they're white. He said it always felt like it was a Jackson problem. He said not a Mississippi problem. He said it was a black people problem, not a majority state problem. He said civil rights leader Benjamin Chavis coined the term environmental racism in the 1980s in response to the decision to site a landfill for hazardous chemical waste in a predominantly black North Carolina town. Sociologist Robert Bullard later defined the concept as any policy, practice, or directive that differentially affects or disadvantages, if they were intended or unintended, individuals, groups, or communities based on race. Although there's been cases dubbed examples of environmental racism that involve active wrongdoing, advocates say it can also apply in situations where issues affecting non-white communities are simply considered less urgent or more acceptable. Okay? So they say what it means is that communities of color, particularly in this case, black communities, are considered sacrifice communities. You hear that? Black communities are considered sacrifice communities. And so that they aren't receiving the same attention as their white counterparts because they're not deemed to be important. And that's the standard operating procedure of America, folks. We are not deemed important. We are the test subjects. We are the ones that gotta they want us to get first in line to take experimental, things to put in our body and not, trigger the algorithm. Y'all know what I'm talking about? They put their chemicals, they do everything to black folk. As long as we are here in America and they control it, we are always going to be at their mercy, folks. Argue with me in the comment section and tell me how we're not at their mercy when they're controlling everything. Now, in addition to neglected infrastructure, she said this could mean the location of high pollution facilities in poor or minority neighborhoods and areas where residents are provided the opportunity to improve their economic situation. The Jackson crisis is part of the conversations on how black communities are deprioritized when it comes to ensuring there's infrastructure planning, ensuring there's resiliency built within the communities. Said Aubrey Connor, he's the Director of Environmental and Climate Justice at NAACP. He said Jackson is just a failure of individuals who have the power to ensure the infrastructure is there to actually act on it. And ensure that a predominantly black community actually has water and other infrastructure that is needed when there's a disaster that actually hits. This week they said Jackson water crisis and trending on Twitter. It said residents are posting photos of discolored water. It said Biden declared the crisis an emergency, freeing up federal resources to help the state's response. No. You need to bring the check and the resources of the federal government to fix it now. You need to give billions to fix everything. How is it Ukraine getting all our money? The people in Jackson, Mississippi pay taxes to the IRS. So the people in Jackson's money going to Ukraine, but they get their own money can't fix their issue? He said, but the city's Democrat leaders and state Republican leadership have frequently sparred over where responsibility lies to fixing the capital's water structure. It said Lieutenant Governor Delbert Hosemann, these Republicans, said in response to the 2021 crisis that the prime mover needs to be the city itself. No. Infrastructure, that's crazy. Infrastructure is a state and federal government thing. That's not a city. When it comes to water treatment plants, pipes, all that sort of thing, power grid, all that, that's part of the state government and federal government. And they want to get this BS because it's a black city. Let's say Gino remains frustrated with local leaders saying history has shown money has not gone to those who really need it. He said officials see this city drowning, but instead reaching in with a helpful hand, they dodge it because we're dealing with Republicans and Democrats. He said, but the people of Jackson don't give about Republicans or Democrats. They all the same to the people of Jackson because they're not doing anything. He said, forget about the politics and think about the people. It's a long-term solution, according to Connor, the NAACP, would involve resiliency planning that accounts for decades of neglecting communities like Jackson. Say this is part of a planning for a climate crisis. And so if the infrastructure is not there and you have those impacts, of the climate crisis, they are now coming to hilt. Then black communities are now going to feel that impact. This is just, like I said, this whole story right here. You understand, Jackson, Mississippi is the capital city of Mississippi, and you got this going on. No different than Flint. These white supremacists is despicable. It's them. They are utterly despicable. They are that's why I told y'all. Just about, like I said, I say this for me, and some black people write me and say, "Hey, brother, I feel just like you. I can't deal with these people the rest of my life. I just can't. I'm sick of the evil. I'm sick of how they treat our people. I'm just tired of it." You know what I'm saying? My grandparents fought these people, fought them, fought. My great grandparents fought these people, and really, if you look at it, if you really get down to studying, data, our home ownership rates haven't changed since the 1960s. These people have sabotaged us in that area. They're sabotaging our water supply. They're sabotaging, I posted a video on the African Diaspora channel with the young sister saying she put in an application and her resume rejected her, changed her race to white. She got an immediate call. I mean, come on, y'all. That's stuff they was doing a long time ago. Nothing has changed. Nothing has stopped these people, bro. But like I said, I understand that. And the only thing that black folks can really do, you want me to be honest with you, it's some solutions. Yeah, all black folks just go move to those white areas. Then they get pissed off about it and say, well, since you're poisoning our water, we just come over here with the clean water there. Forget it. That's what we're going to do. And then white folks will run away, and that's what they do. They say, you know what? Every time you run, we're going to follow you. Every time you leave, wherever you go, we're going to follow you until you make sure to fix the water in our areas, and where we won't follow you no more. That's really the only thing you probably could do to get at white people. Is just go to everybody move to their area. That's what you do, is everybody in mass just move over there where the white folks got the clean water at. That's it. You think pressuring Biden and them, man, if Obama didn't do nothing for Flint, do you think Biden's going to do anything? See, Obama hurt us more than anything, because Obama didn't set a standard of, hey, he did help out the black community. They say, hey, you had the first black president, he didn't do crap for you, and you coming to me? And you didn't tell him nothing? But everybody was mad at Tavis Smiley when he was going at Obama about how he wasn't doing nothing at the time. And now Tavis Smiley, everybody got to apologize to Tavis Smiley now when he was calling out Obama for the crap that he wasn't doing for black people. But yeah, America don't mind black people's living conditions being third world. They don't mind that. It's a lot of third world living conditions. Listen, I've been to countries that's considered third world. I've seen it. And we have some of those conditions here. Not all of them, but some of them. And clean drinking water is something that a first world nation has. It don't matter what city you in. It don't matter what area of the country, you have clean drinking water. But remember what they said earlier. It's acceptable to do this to black people. They're the sacrificial community. They deprioritize their black people. And all this because you're black, folks. All of this is because we're black in America. Now, there's this one water company, black water company, 1186. I think that's the name of them. They're handing out water to the brothers and sisters out there. And I'm going to call them up Monday, since I filed their Twitter. I say, hey, I'll hit them up on Monday. And I'm going to see, hey, what we can do, what people can do to give money for the pallets, to get some water out there, because, I'm a firm believer of, I don't want, I'm never going to be responsible for, it's just not good business practice to, hey, send us the money and we'll send it to them. Nope. I wanted to go, any kind of money, go directly to those brothers and sisters company, and then they can go out there and give the water to the people. So I'm going to call them about that, where we're, go directly to the water company itself, and they can get these pallets out here. We want to see what the cost is for that, so we can do something personally. But ladies and gentlemen, this is sad. But this is how these white supremacists are. And y'all, some of y'all just don't believe how demented and evil these people are. Like I said, that's why I say I can't wait to go to Kenya in November. I can't wait. Oh my God, I can't wait. Oh, the moment I land in Kenya, just anywhere in the African continent, I'm happy. You know what I'm saying? I'm away from them. Kenya got their problems? Hell yeah, they got them. But you know what? I can deal with some of them problems versus dealing with these people constantly. Because at least in Kenya, nobody's not trying to poison the water because I'm black. Because everybody black. You know what I'm saying? That's my thing. So, we got 2 spots left, matter of fact, on that Kenya trip. So if you would like to go, and it definitely gonna be through the Thanksgiving holiday. It is, it wasn't my plan on that timing. But there's 2 spots left. If y'all like to go, we'll put the pinned comment at the bottom, since we got 2 more spots left to close that out. Jump on it. Like I said, get a break. Cause like I said, this the evil that these people do to our people. I got to have a break from them, a mental health break, because it just covering these stories like I cover for years. It's just, with these people are evil. Yes, I'll talk about issues in the community. Yes, I'll talk about people being disrespectful, who maybe come over here. That's just a conversation to me. That conversation is nothing evil to me. It's just a conversation. This kind of stuff that's evil, that can kill people. Think about it. Parasites and bacteria in the water, sewage, raw sewage in the water, raw sewage, folks. This is beyond despicable. What happens to black people in this country, and it's done on purpose, and it's done by design. Just because we are black in America, that's why I told you I don't want to hear no talk from no other groups talking about they deal with things comparable to us. Show me the cities that y'all deal with what we deal with. You show me that. Show me the Asian city. Show me the Arab city, the Hispanic city. Show me the Native American city that constantly has this done to them. No other city has this done. These people are waging warfare on black people. And as long as we in this country, these people are going to continue to keep doing it, importing people in here to have anti-black sentiments. So, get mad if you want when I say certain things, but I know the truth for what it is. And the only one that can remove the devil is God himself. That's it. But these people, like I said, if black people just even have a second address and get away from their behind for a time, at least for a time, right? They'll start withering at the vine because they need black people. That's the crazy part. They need black people here. They need it. They want us here. They want to keep us here more than anybody else. But at the same time, they doing that to us. Why? To cull our population. That's what it is. See, if the police shoot you down in the freaking street, that's visible. But poisoning your water, well, that's a slow death. Poisoning your food, giving you the most horrible food in the world, well, you create an economy for the medical industry and the pharmaceutical industry at that point. Black people have the highest diabetes. Black people have the highest heart disease. Black people have high blood pressure. Black people lead in obesity. This is all done by design, folks. They make sure to have food deserts. Well, black people can't get good, fresh food. This is done by, y'all got to think about how wicked it is. So you're making billions of dollars for the medical industry, billions of dollars for the pharmaceutical industry. You understand? I mean, they and then the way black people spend their money, I mean, everybody getting paid hand over fist on black people. Evil, folks, evil. But you, ladies and gentlemen, make sure to leave me definitely a like on the video. If you like the video, help us spread this in the algorithm, and also subscribe. And we know we post another podcast. Also, if you're enjoying the show, you could donate a love offering on Cash App, or if you did super thanks later, we appreciate that. If you did a super chat, we greatly appreciate your super chat. It definitely helps out. The more y'all support, the more I'll just keep coming through making these podcasts. I know I tried it 1 month, made podcasts every day. Seemed like y'all was liking that, so hey, y'all just keep supporting, keep subscribing. We need to get this channel up to over 100,000 subscribers so we could get that check mark, so we don't have to deal with the little trolls that come by trying to impersonate. But thank you for listening. We'll see you on the next one.